guys. That was my manual fade out. That was a track that we purchased a license for another project for a Game On Game Off, and we miss our Game On Game Off people so much. Trying to think about whether we want to try to put that online. Still thinking about that. There are lots of projects in the works for Rhythm and Flavor, so that's very exciting. And I kind of realized, I may have mentioned this before, but I realized when we finished our album, it was sort of like giving birth to a creative project, right? And so the album was done, and then there was the kind of come down, the crash of, oh my goodness, I've just given birth to something, and now there's like this creative postpartum depression, which certainly, didn't contribute very well to what my mental health situation was going on. So I'm here today. I'm actually with you live. Yay! So if you want to chat or comment or ask questions, I guess I have to put my glasses back on if I want to see what anybody's doing. Feel free to, chat in the box or whatever. I have to say, after 5.5 weeks of being on this elimination diet protocol, I feel pretty good. Like, happily. I just feel like I have a lot more life, a lot more energy. And also just thinking about the fact that I have 5.5 weeks of really good, healthy eating habits that I have now cultivated. Which makes it a lot easier to continue doing that than it is to just start right up from scratch. So for those of you who are not familiar with this 6-week elimination diet protocol, I have eaten nothing wheat related, no breads, no pastas, nothing like that. Very few grains. I think I only had rice like 2 times, and I am allowed to have gluten-free granola. Tons of fresh fruits and vegetables, and I've been trying to prioritize whenever possible organic. Same thing with meat. I'm allowed certain kinds of meat that are lean and organic if possible. And of course, some of you know I've been able to have uncured nitrite-free bacon. So I feel like I get treats whenever I want them, and I'm still actually following the protocol. And that's the thing. So everything I've been cooking is basically from scratch. I think there've only been 1 or 2 meals that have come in my Sunbasket kit that have been pre-prepped. Part of that is I actually like the flavors better when they give me the ingredients and I make it myself fresh. The flavor's just not quite as good when you order their pre-prepped stuff. It's still all healthy ingredients. So when I do go back into the work world, I'll probably still occasionally get one of those just because it's better than, something processed and frozen. So yeah, there's been no processed food, no alcohol at all. I've been drinking a ton of water and seltzer water. I just recently started introducing coffee back in because coffee was allowed, but I had dropped it out from because I like cream and sugar, and so I didn't. Hold on, please, while I have to check a message from YouTube telling me my resolution is not optimal. So hopefully that doesn't bother you. I'm just here hanging out with y'all. There's not spectacular graphics gonna happen, so hopefully you can see me adequately. So now I lost my train of thought. Darn you, YouTube, and your warning messages. But because I've been making everything from scratch, and I've also had to kind of adapt some of the cooking techniques and ingredients because the packet I was given by my naturopathic doctor had recipes, and some of those recipes I was like, what is this recipe? They're missing some instructions, they're just lumping some things together. And even things like mushrooms. I love mushrooms, but mushrooms are very finicky. And so there was this one recipe that didn't really distinguish like what order you're supposed to cook things in or when you add things together at the same time. And so the first time I made it, it was kind of like, oh, soggy, bland mushrooms. Um, and so I sort of started developing my own techniques for making sure that the ingredients I use are done in prepared in such a way that they maximize how tasty they are. Um, so, and part of that is, the thing that has been at the end of the day when I need something kind of positive to watch before I go to bed, because there's so much negative out there. I am a new fan of a couple of programs on the Food Network. The first one that I started watching, which actually a good friend of mine recommended, I think 2 years ago. Karen, thank you for the recommendation of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, because her program um, gives gives a really good overview about what types of cooking strategies are important to make sure that whatever food you're making comes out tasty and delicious. And then also my new kind of happy fuzzy show is one called Chef's Table. And I think each episode is like an hour, and in each episode they go to a different part of the world and focus on a different chef. And these chefs, I have to say, it's like they're social justice warriors through food, trying to make the world a better place, trying to be sustainable, trying to rescue and save some of these traditional cultural foods and traditional ways of cooking that are really being threatened by industrialization, by commercialization. There's an episode where the chef in question is from Thailand, and so they were showing this whole process of creating sugar that comes from palm, some kind of palm tree or palm plant. Really artisan types of food creation. And even so, the chef, she and her husband partner, who's also a chef, they wanted to make sure that the restaurant they opened only included native Thai foods and that they would be organic. And they had a hard time finding it because so many of the farms had been industrialized and commercialized. So watching these little stories of chefs, and they're all stories of wanting to connect as humans, wanting to connect to other humans. There was an episode about a chef from Turkey who was like, no, 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 our diversity in food is also, the representation of the diversity of our people and our culture, and that those should be respected. Because he was also talking about how in recent Turkish politics, it has been incredibly divisive, and I think we here in the United States can certainly sympathize with that. My folks in Brazil, too, Bolsonaro has been equally a divisive figure as our current occupant of the White House. So it's really been nice to kind of just watch these stories of, people that are passionate about what they believe in with regard to food and culture and tradition and legacies and things like that. Um, so I've been cooking from scratch every day for the last 5.5 weeks. And, there's another thing, I was talking to my therapist this week. There's labor involved in that. Shock. You mean it is the unrecognized, historically unrecognized, and historically uncompensated labor that historically mostly women have had to do? What a shocker. Oh my goodness, I never would have thought. So I was talking to my therapist about how I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep up all these healthy habits once I'm back in my work routine in that peak, as they call it in Brazil. But of course, the best news is that the easiest, cheapest foods are the healthiest salads and fruit. So I think largely when I start back up on in December, January, when I get ready for the spring semester, I'll probably be eating a lot more salads and a lot more fresh fruit, which can only benefit me. Um, and, cooking from scratch makes it feel like I get to eat a gourmet meal every day. I get to treat myself to a gourmet, healthy meal every day. And for any of you that have ever been to any of my dinner parties, or if you yourself love to host dinner parties, um, I miss that. I miss having people over and sharing food together, breaking bread together. Boy, do I miss that. Um, so I've been, also trying to use this platform here as a way of kind of sharing food without actually literally sharing food with you all. And had a crazy idea. So if any of you love the idea, want to give comments or feedback, I'd be happy to hear what you think about it. Um, I thought I should probably maybe do like a cookbook of what I have experienced as going through this 6 week elimination diet protocol. It's almost been a way of cultivating a love for healthy foods that I don't think I ever had. Uh, so if you think that's a great idea, and actually, here's the other thing. So Mike and I, a couple of months ago, were talking about how, great, we finished this album. Or, I don't know, maybe it was a couple of weeks. Time is so weird. You guys know that already. The pandemic just completely time chronometer strategies are all over the place. But we were talking about how we created this album. It's up for sale. Please go ahead and buy it. Let's see if I can point to it. Oops, no, this way. The Rhythm and the Flavor bandcamp.com. Look at that, pointing to those letters. Yeah, we'd love for you to buy our album. And aside from that, we realized how ephemeral music is. So, we were doing live streams. Those are, short lived, they go away. We have this album. And as a digital album, which you can download, there's no, let's see if I have any here. Oh, sorry. Should have gotten this out ahead of time. So there's no object. Like, here's one of my favorite albums, Sergio Mendes' Timeless. If you haven't ever listened to it, it's spectacular. And I have always been one of those people that's like, oh, I want to look at the pictures. I want to hold it in my hand. I'm always very happy when there's liner notes and lyrics. Like, ooh, this has got a little booklet with, the information of who played on the songs. So I love that kind of stuff. And we were sort of thinking, and, again, let us know in the chat or send us an email or comment. We were sort of thinking that we would like to create something tangible. And we were sort of thinking that it would be like a coffee table book where a CD or some sort of physical object that you can use to play music. It might actually be better to be a thumb drive or something. That would be included, maybe inside the front book cover, and that we could sort of tell the story of the album with images and words and, in this format so that people could have something to hold on to. I like to see coffee table books because they remind me of wherever I was when I got the book. And then I thought, oh man, what if I included recipes in the book? Because the book would, of course, be comfort food. And the thing that I think is really sort of exciting is that comfort foods in my life have historically been not the things that are the healthiest. And so this last 6 weeks, I think, has been a kind of process of learning to embrace healthier foods as comfort. Like making myself a healthy gourmet meal feels like self care, feels like comfort. And I can do it without cheese. I can do it without, any dairy. I can do it without any wheat or gluten products. There's lots of ways to do that. I do miss wine. I'm ready to start drinking wine again. But it's been good to have, 5.5 weeks without it, just to give the body a reset. That's always good, a little detox. Um, so yeah, that's where it's been. I just had blood work done today, so I'll be meeting with my naturopathic doctor again in a week or so to look at how this diet has affected, some of the numbers in the blood test. So yeah, so that's where the journey toward wellness stands right now. Um, what I am trying to do, not entirely successfully, but it's a journey, it's a process. I'm trying to cultivate the attitude that meditation and exercise are equally essential as food. Because I don't think I have really done that yet. Still working on it. I still don't remember to meditate every day. I even made printed out these cute little checklists for myself. This is the first week I did it. I didn't meet everything on the checklist. Um, but it kind of makes me think like being a healthy human takes time, energy, work, and dedication. I don't know how people do it and hold down full time jobs. So, it's all building blocks. So we'll see, ask me again in a few months how it's going. And so that's kind of the health update for those of you who have been following. That's kind of where it stands right now. And the song I'm going to play for you today, which again is off of our album Comfort Food. The song is called Cognitive Dissonance, which I feel is especially apropos in this time right now. And, the fact that last week's debate, which was absurd. And then I didn't watch the two town halls, but I read the review of it in the New York Times, and it seems very clear. And I heard them talking about it on NPR today. It seems very clear that they, like, each one of them just lives in a totally different reality, in a totally different universe, which feels like, cognitive dissonance in spades. The double speak coming out of a certain side is pretty baffling. So I'm going to play Oh, speaking of cognitive dissonance, if you haven't watched it yet, you really need to watch the sort of, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a mashup video, but it's a video. I guess it's a mashup video. I don't know what the exact definition of a mashup video is, but Weird Al created a song using clips from the presidential debate. I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. It's incredible. It's amazing. He's hysterical and brilliant. And it's like the world is on fire. Can we just like take a break and then fix things and start over again? Because these debates are just silly at this point. Anyway, I also want to acknowledge so many people that are doing such good work on the ground. If any of you in Arizona are feeling baffled by the list of judges that we have to try to vote to retain or not, let me know. I can send you a link to a Google spreadsheet that another group has put together with recommendations for the judges. Because our system is some would say the system is broken, but some would say the system is designed exactly how it was meant to be, which is to ensure that Black and brown people are dispossessed of their civil rights. So we as the voters and we as the people watching all of this happen, we need to hold them accountable. So I can send you that link if you want it. If you haven't already dropped off your ballot, a lot of my friends already have. I meant to do that today, but somehow today got super busy. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. It's all filled out. Here's my ballot, all filled out. Yay! So yeah, tell everyone you know it's important to vote. Tell everyone you know that. There's a lot on the line here. This is crucial. Today and this week, I think I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful and positive about it. And even, I just checked the times before starting today, this live cast. And you can kind of see that the current administration is starting to feel like they may need to jump ship. So they started trying to pass all these, crazy policy changes, which the Times is reporting seems to indicate that they know they're not going to be reelected, and so they're trying to make these changes and to protect his legacy, which, as far as I'm concerned, the legacy is deplorable. But I think that's enough about politics, right? So I'm going to play the song Cognitive Dissonance, which is also called My Mama Told Me. And then, I am so happy to be doing some work with Rising Youth Theater again. Such good folks over there, and it's been feeling really good to be part of a creative process again. And Mike and I are working on secret projects for Arizona Curriculum Theater. So again, it's been really kind of life-saving to have creative projects to work on. It feeds the soul. So if you have creative projects that you've been wanting to working on, make time for them. I think you will feel better in the end. So let's give you Cognitive Dissonance, My Mama Told Me. So here we are. The election is close. Get out the vote. Do everything you can. Convince your family. Convince your friends. Let's have a better democracy, like really soon. Because the alternative is awful. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce because I'm on my way to a Zoom rehearsal with Rising Youth Theater. Love those folks. I hope you all are finding your peace. I hope you all are finding your strength. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. I hope you all are cultivating kindness wherever you can. I think we need more kindness in the world. There's a little bit too much hostility. There's justified rage, of course, and that's important to acknowledge. But we need to try to come together and try to find a better way to deal with the word and deal with thyself. All right, folks.